All right, guys, so recently Dylan from Producer Grind asked me to come on and give a presentation for the Producer Grind monthly membership guys, and it went great. And while I was preparing for that presentation, I actually made a graph that I thought would be really helpful for all of you guys who watch our YouTube content. So that's what I want to break down today in kind of a different style video, but I think it's going to be very helpful nonetheless. So if you watch this video, I think you're going to learn a lot essentially about how we operate at Heat when it comes to selling beats as well as selling sample kits. These are essentially the fundamentals that we're always covering. So if you think about this, for every producer who's pretty much successful selling beats online, that all starts with a traffic source, which is, you guessed it, YouTube views. And I apologize, my handwriting might be terrible, but I think you'll get the point. It's not gonna be that bad. Now, if you think about it in terms of like a customer journey, there's really only two actions somebody can take from watching your YouTube video. The first action is, that's a terrible arrow, but we're gonna run with it, is they do nothing that's going to help you. So that would essentially be they click onto somebody else's video, they stop watching YouTube entirely and get off, and that's pretty much it, right? Or the next option that would help them become a customer of yours is they go to your website / we'll say beat store here. Like I said, my handwriting might be terrible, but I apologize. So like I said, a YouTube viewer can do pretty much one of two things that are gonna benefit you. One is nothing, which doesn't benefit you, or two is they go to your website, Beat Store, which is like the next step that would benefit you. Now, here's some really interesting data that we have, and you should really take this with a grain of salt because we only have this from a very, very small handful of producers that we got these averages from. So this is like very much take this with a grain of salt, is in terms of YouTube viewers going to your website or Beat Store for measuring this, it's between 0.02% to 0.07% of viewers are gonna go to your website or your Beat Store, whatever you wanna call it. So if you get 10,000 YouTube views based on what we have here, which like I said, take this with a grain of salt, that's gonna equal to anywhere between 20 to 70 website / Beat Store visitors. And odds are that's simply just not enough people to get a beat sale. Now, out of those 20 or 70 people that go to your website or Beat Store, there's essentially two options based off what every producer does. There's two options, right? Is they either don't buy or they do buy. Like literally those are the only two options for most producers. They're missing the third option, which is what we're gonna cover here soon, but let me just like run you through this. For the buy, you can expect about 1 to 3% of people to do that. And this isn't just based on data that we have collected. This is data with all of e-commerce. So like hundreds of thousands of stores, they're gonna fall into this range. So essentially for every 100 people they get to their website, 1 to 3 of those people are going to buy. And here's the thing, right? You need to have like a steady flow of traffic for that 1 to 3% to actually like be a thing. So if you're only getting 20 people a day, 50 people a day, even 70, 80 people a day, you just don't have that much traffic coming to your Beat Store to actually like have this number work out, right? So that's the biggest thing, is a lot of producers are wondering like, dude, I got 10,000 views the past month and I haven't sold a beat. And like I said, that's not always gonna happen like that. You may sell a beat, you may sell 2 beats in that month. It's just on averages, right? You may get 10,000 views and be like, dude, I haven't sold a beat. What's up? What's wrong with my beats? It's just like, if you're not measuring your website traffic, you don't know how many people actually came to your Beat Store, which is an issue. So that's why you need Google Analytics set up. But if you see that like, damn, I got 10,000 YouTube views and 60 website visitors, like that's the problem. It's just like you haven't got enough people to your website yet. And that's just the thing about building a business, that like you can't really change that number and have much control over that number, right? So anyways, what that means, right, is that 97 to 99% of people are over here in the don't buy category. So that's a really, really big issue. Is what happens is, this is, like I said, what happens with most producers is they don't start selling a lot of beats until their YouTube views skyrocket. That's a terrible arrow, but once again, that's because they're playing the numbers game. So what that means is until this number becomes like 100,000, they don't start seeing sales. Or if this number becomes 1 million, that's when they start seeing sales, because of just simply these numbers and these numbers is like, as this number gets bigger, so do these numbers here. Okay, but that still leads to one issue, and you don't have to wait until you get 100,000 views in a month or whatever it is to actually start getting some beat sales, because there's one critical thing that a lot of producers aren't doing on both sides of this. So let me go ahead, and what is that, you may ask? Well, it's with the people who don't buy here. Just because 1, 2, 3% will buy, right? So what do you do for the people who don't buy? Well, that's where you have your email list sign up. So this could be your lead magnet, right? To get them onto your email list. Now, what I would say rule of thumb is you can get about 5% to 20% of people to sign up for this, depending on what you're offering, right? If you just say sign up to my newsletter on like the pro page default settings, not a lot of people are going to sign up to that, because why would I want to sign up to your newsletter? But if you're saying like get a pack of free beats, or if you have something like an exit intent coupon that we have that has a pretty good sign up rate. So like people want the coupon, so they're going to sign up for it. So like what that percentage is really like depends on what you're offering people. If it's just sign up for my newsletter, it's probably not going to work out that well, because that's not valuable to anybody. So then what you have from there is you're going to run people through an automation afterwards, right? If they sign up for free beats, you're going to give them the free beats, probably introduce yourself, and then maybe offer them some exclusive sale or some sort of exclusive offer. So that's going to be an automation. Or if you run them through, let's say they sign up for like a 15% off exit intent coupon code, right? We've talked about that before on this channel. We do it for Matthew May, do it for Rujay. You're going to run them through a sequence of like, hey, you signed up for the coupon's good for 5 days, use it. And then on like day 4, it's like, hey, we see you haven't used your coupon yet, you might want to use it. Automation, right? So then from that, depending on what you're exactly doing though, it's going to be the same. They have 2 options. They are either not going to buy, so they don't buy, or they do buy. So like literally you're back to the same old options as before. Now what happens here is this is where also a lot of producers stop. Is like email marketing either works or it doesn't work, and it's like, no, like there's still some more to go here. So what happens if people do buy, right? Then they go through the customer stuff that we'll get to here later. But if they don't buy, what do you do then? Well, that's where you start doing your weekly emails. Okay, and the weekly emails are simply there to just keep people engaged. Okay, if somebody's on your email list and they see your name pop up every week in their inbox, and you're not just spamming a coupon, you're actually trying to ask questions, you're actually trying to engage, and then give a soft call to action to go back and listen to your new beats. Like if you can keep on driving the same person back and back to your beat store and they listen to beats, like they're gonna be a primed customer, right? They may not buy then, but you got to think about it. If someone's going back and listening to your beats every week or every few weeks, like you're pretty much going to be on top of their mind the next time they actually do want to buy beats or need beats. And then from that, that's when you use like your sales campaigns, right? If someone's been going back to your beat store and eyeing up beats, and then it's like, hey, there's a sales campaign going on. They're like, oh shit, there's a sale going on right now. This is the perfect time to buy those beats that I want. So essentially the sales campaign messaging is to incentivize, see that, first sale. That's terrible, I apologize. But the messaging here is, like I said, what makes email so good is segmentation and personalization. So like the people who don't buy in your sales campaigns, you want to send them specific messaging of like, hey, to get your first purchase, to get our first track working together, I have a coupon here. And so like you really want to incentivize that first purchase and make it personalized to that person. And then the other side of personalization is when someone does buy, of course, they go up here. So then let's work back to here, right? Well, what happens after someone buys? Well, this person just gave you money. That's literally the hardest part of all of this, is to have somebody give you your money. If it was easy, we'd all be millionaires, right? So then what do you do after that? Well, you want to have an after sales automation that's going to have a thank you email in it. To just say, thanks for buying my beats. Like that's it. It's just as simple as that, right? And then you can have some automation emails to follow up with them. You can personalize those emails. Based off what we do at CCS, right, is we look into see like what license have they purchased, what's the name of the beat they purchased, are they new or a returning customer, and then you can essentially have 2 different sides for somebody's new versus if somebody's a returning customer. And so it's things like that, right, to kind of like further, like if somebody bought a beat from you, you want that to be a good experience. So if somebody buys a beat and it's like, hey, thanks for buying your first beat. I'm excited to work together. Send me back a link to the track when you have it uploaded. And then a few days later, you send back an email saying like, hey, like, just wanted to follow up again. You bought this name of the beat. You bought a license for, that name of the beat a few days ago. I want to see how the track's going so far. Like, as somebody who spent money with you, they're going to be excited to like reply to that email because you actually care about them. And it's going to make buying beats with you a good decision, and they're going to want to do it again. Like, you're rewarding that behavior of having this positive interaction with them, right? And then from there, it's the same gist of you want to keep up the weekly emails, pushing them back to your beat store to listen to new beats. And then you have your sales campaigns every once in a while to incentivize, my handwriting is god awful, return purchases. Because what happens here is you get that 1% to 3% to buy, but then you don't do anything to get them to come back, to incentivize them to come back, right? And so like weekly emails, one, that's just great because now like you had the thank you email. So like, sweet, that guy's cool, I like him. And so now this guy's showing up weekly in my inbox, talking about, asking me questions, talking about certain topics, and then just giving me a call to action to listen to his new beats. Not trying to sell me on anything right now. They might buy just from there because they've shown they'll buy again. Or what happens is you'll do a sales campaign and they'll be like, huh, I've been listening to his beats week after week. Also, this guy's a customer, so like he's already given you money before, or she's already given you money before, right? Guy or girl, doesn't matter. And so they have a higher intent to buy because they've bought before from you, right? And we've seen it time and time before. What's gonna happen is, you have your bulk deals as well with this sale going on, so people are just gonna unleash on like 3, 4, a handful of beats they've been eyeing up for the past few weeks because you've been actively getting them back to your beat store. Versus what happens with a lot of producers is they just buy, then nothing happens. And like, this is the low-hanging fruit usually, is just get your customers to come back because they've already paid you money. They've already done the hardest part in this process of giving you money. And so you just don't want to hope that they're going to just like stumble back upon you. You want to try and give them as many touch points as possible to come back, and literally establishing trust with like an after-sales automation of like, hey, thanks for buying something. This means a lot to me. Let's work more together. That's great. And then showing up weekly with campaigns, just ask them questions, just do engaging. It just maintains that touch point. And if literally somebody, especially if they already given you money, can just see you every week and be stumbling back to your beat store and listening on repeat, that's not gonna hurt that's only going to help you. If somebody who already purchased is just coming back to your store more and more, that's amazing. They've already shown you they will buy. So you're just getting them to come back and hopefully do it again, right? And that's the thing, like maybe they're eyeing up beats in the weekly emails, but then they see a sales campaign, then they pull the trigger. That's perfectly fine too. That's the point of this. And so really just to kind of go over this, what I want you to understand is that most producers essentially, they just stop in this territory of either somebody buys or they don't buy. And let's just hope that the people who do buy, they come back and they buy again. Versus it's like, you want to go deep with everybody. So if somebody doesn't buy, it's like, okay, well, I can get their email list, essentially, a small percentage of them, depending on what I'm doing and how effective what I'm offering is. But either way, it's better than nothing, right? And then from that, it's like, okay, well, they're gonna buy or they don't buy. Well, if they don't buy, still keep on sending them emails, right? Still incentivize first purchases with sales campaigns. And here's the thing, right? People are gonna unsub. People are gonna be like, dude, fuck off, stop sending me emails. That's perfectly fine. That is the point of having an email list. People are gonna unsubscribe and be pissed off. Also, on the flip side of that, your email list is gonna house some of the most important people who love you and love buying your stuff and who become lifetime customers. And it's because of this cycle, just repeating, right? Somebody buys, they go through the after sales automation. They keep on getting weekly emails, they buy again. They go through the sales automation again. Hopefully you have something set up for like a returning customer. Cool. They get weekly emails. You stay on top of their mind. They buy. They go through this all, like it's just one big repeating process once somebody becomes a customer. And like I said, some people are just never gonna buy from you. That's marketing. That's having a business. That's selling things. So what you wanna do is, one, focus on the people who are buying things from you. And then two, look to see how you can get people onto your email list and turn them into customers and hopefully try and convert them into customers. But like I said, some people are never gonna buy. That's just business. So focus on those who do buy and focus on getting people onto your email list so that way you can better contact them and then trying to get them to buy. And so hopefully this was helpful. Yeah, if you want to see more about like the actual setup and processes of this that we have in the course, I'll leave that linked below. We have templates, website templates, email automation templates, 30-day money back guarantee. So if you get it, you're like, isn't for me, refund your money in 30 days. We'll give you all the money back. It's cool. Like whatever, right? Like you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. So yeah, peace out. Hope this was helpful. See you guys in the next upload.